Well, hello, Alex.
Hey, Sean, man, I love the name of your your outlet, man. I am a resident. I should be the mayor of Nerdtropolis.
Don't you can't say that. I am the mayor. They
Okay,
call
sorry,
me
you're the
the
mayor. I will be the assistant mayor.
no ambassador. Please be the ambassador of
Okay,
Nerdtropolis because it's such a pleasure to meet you and congrats on a fantastic film. Yeah, Alex, you are indeed the ambassador. We're gonna do it right now. Um, Absolutely love this film. You said dreams is something you've been fascinated with your whole life. Do you still vividly remember a specific childhood dream or even a nightmare that has stayed with you to this day?
I do. Yeah, it's a little bit dark, but I'll share it if you want me to. When I was maybe 6 or 7 years old, I had this dream where I was like sort of floating in the sky, and I was at the park, and I was at a funeral, and there was like this tiny little casket, and my parents were there, and my brother, they were like looking in on the casket, and I couldn't figure out who they were like there for, and I kept trying to peer around because I couldn't see inside because the casket was open. But every time I shifted, like I moved around, the scene would shift, and I could never see it. And then I realized it was me in there, and that was the first time I realized what mortality was. So that dream has always stuck with me. I've only had it once, but it was such a vivid and powerful dream that yeah, it sort of stuck with me for my whole life.
Yeah, we've all had that. I have several dreams, good and bad, that like it's just so weird. I just remember like it was yesterday. I was probably like 3, 4 years old when I had these dreams. They are powerful. You got Baloney Tony there. I have him here
Yeah.
as well. And he wanted me to say that I thought he was such a scene stealer in this film. Growing up, what was your Baloney Tony? Or is that it right there?
No, we so Baloney Tony was inspired by two stuffed animals. The first was when I was a kid, me and my brother, we had these matching Santa bears. They're these polar bears with Santa hats, and they were, pure white because they're polar bears. And my brother, one night he had a bloody nose and got sort of blood stains on the rear end of it. And so me being the older brother, I sort of tortured him and I nicknamed it Butthole Bear. And he obviously it drove him crazy. He was so angry, but he still loved it. He just like, every night just continued to sleep with it. And it was, he'd carry it with him wherever he went. And there was something so beautiful about that he sort of like, despite its imperfection, despite its messiness, he would still love it. And I thought that was such a beautiful idea and something that really thematically fit in with this film, because that's really what Stevie needs to learn. She needs to embrace the messiness of life. And um, the second stuffy that inspired Baloney Tony is my co-director Erik. He is he's one of four kids, and when he was young, he had a My Pet Monster, and on the side there was a pop seam. And so obviously his siblings were like always stealing his toys and his snacks from him. So he would take whatever he didn't want to share and hide it inside the little pocket. And that's where the idea of a baloney pocket came from. So yeah, there was some real life inspiration for Baloney Tony.
No, I love it. He's fantastic, and I'm glad I have my very own as well. Before directing your first feature, you were a storyboard artist. Can you talk about those early days, especially working on something like The Venture Bros, which I was a big fan of, and still am to
Oh,
this day? How did that path eventually lead you into, in your dreams?
wow, you've done your research. Yeah, that was Venture Brothers was my first job, actually. I was still in college at the time, and I wasn't sure if I, was good enough to make it in the industry. So I just like applied to a lot of jobs. I went to school at NYU in New York, and so there's a lot of smaller animation studios there. And so, yeah, I worked on Venture Brothers as a storyboard artist, and man, it was so much fun. I love that show. It's so good. Actually, that was my first introduction to Krista Milioti because she was a voice actress in that show, and she voiced a couple different characters. But really, I think working in story and storyboarding, it really prepared me for directing because in many ways, you're doing the same type of work that a director does, which is you're thinking about the story. How do I tell this story in the language of cinema in the most effective way possible? And that's really what you're doing as a director. You just have more tools at your disposal. So rather than just the camera and acting and drawing, you can use music, you can use sound, you can use animation. And so yeah, it was a great training ground for doing the work that I do now.
Yeah, I mean, magical stuff in your dreams. I can't wait to actually watch it again, and hopefully we revisit that world again. Please do. We would love to see that.
Yeah, I mean, if it does well enough on Netflix, maybe we'll get a sequel. We'll see. But yeah, thanks for watching it, and yeah, I hope you guys, everybody at Nerdtropolis likes it.
Thanks again, Alex, our Nerdtropolis ambassador. Until next time, thank you.
All right, thanks, Sean. Bye.